Hey Internet, Eric here. Marvelous May continues all through the month of May, unless I have a live stream planned or a regular or a random video on a random movie that I want to discuss. All through this month, I'm discussing films that are based on Marvel Comics or Marvel Comics characters, but it is not part of the MCU. And this is also an Is It Worth the Hate video. I have a whole playlist of Is It Worth the Hate videos. What this is basically I'm late to the party seeing a movie, and it's a movie that everyone seems to hate on, whether it's critics, fans, critics and fans, what have you. And one of the most disliked movies that I have seen and heard about in the past year is what I'm discussing today. And to find out if it's really worth the hate, today I'm talking Madam Webb. Bought this sight unseen because I figured why not. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I discuss plot spoilers, specific scenes, what have you. This came out in 2024. So you have been warned. You've had enough time to watch it, but you've been warned that it's going to have spoilers in it. Let's look at the hatred, I guess you would say. It was a box office failure. It had a budget of $100 million and it had a budget of $100 million and a box office receipt of $100 million. Zero profit. Rotten Tomatoes, the critics, 11%, audience, 53%, and IMDb gives it a 4 out of 10. It actually also was nominated and won some Razzie Awards. If you don't know what the Razzies are, they're the Golden Raspberry Awards. Been around forever, where they nominate the worst of the worst, and sometimes people win. This won Worst Picture of the Year. Dakota Johnson won Worst Actress. It won Worst Screenplay, and it was also nominated for Worst Director, Worst Supporting Actor. It was either Worst Actor or Worst Supporting Actor for the villain, and then for some reason, Emma Roberts, who's hardly in the fucking movie, was nominated for Worst Supporting Actress. All right, basic plot of this is we're following Cassandra Webb, who is an ambulance driver, an EMT, and she is partnered with Ben Parker. You know, this is the whole Sony thing. They can't say last names when it's Spider-Man, but we know it's Uncle Ben. She is starting to get premonitions, and she can see the future when it comes to death, it looks like. So she saves some people. She sees some deaths that happen that she cannot protect, she cannot change, what have you. And she comes across these three girls, 1, 2, 3, who are being chased by this man, because this man has seen a premonition of these three causing his death. Movie starts out in Peru, or one of those type of jungles. We're following Madam Webb's mother. She's pregnant with Cassandra. She is with the villain, and they are trying to find this rare spider. It's like arachnophobia type of thing. And they are in the jungle where there are natives who believe this spider, I guess its bite has special properties, and they're allowed to like walk walls and shit like that. The bad guy steals the spider, shoots her crew, shoots her while she's pregnant, and leaves. She is rescued by the tribe, and as they are trying to save her, they let the spider bite her to try to save her. They help birth the baby. She dies in childbirth. Baby grows up to be Cassandra Webb. And like I said, now the rest of the movie is her trying to protect these three girls from the bad guy. First off, let's get to acting. Dakota Webb was nominated and won for Worst Actress. I don't think she's that bad. Now, in the very beginning, she's very unlikable. I know she's not a people person because she does save somebody in the very beginning, and there's a scene in the hospital where the little boy has drawn like a picture and gives it to her, and she just acts like a bitch. She's like, I don't want it. She kind of refuses to take it. And Uncle Ben, who's played by Adam Scott, kind of looks at her and he's just like, just take it and throw it away later type of thing. So she's kind of unlikable. She's awkward. She is invited to, is it Mary Parker's baby shower? I think it's Mary. I think Mary is Peter Parker's mom. Anyways, because, she's friends with Ben. She's kind of awkward there, very off-put. When they're talking about, oh, hey, how's your mom doing? Or what did your mom do? Or blah, blah, blah. Oh, my mom died giving childbirth. Something you don't say at a baby shower. But once you get past that, and once she is trying to become the protector of these three girls, I think she does a fine job. I don't think she is awful. She is awkward and kind of unlikable in the beginning, but I kind of warm up to her once she takes this protector role. Um, the three girls, however, you got, what's her name? Sydney Sweeney? Is that her name? Yeah, Sydney Sweeney, who I only know from getting naked all over social media. You know, she takes bikini pics and stuff. She is the awkward nerd girl who can't get a boyfriend. She's not very good. You have this girl who is kind of the tough one. She's not very good. And you have this person here who is the street one who rides skateboards, and she's tough because she's black. You know, that stereotypical attitude. She's not very good. So I don't like any of these three characters. Especially when we get to the final confrontation with the villain, they suddenly are able to do some acrobatics and have some fighting skills and this and that we never knew about to begin with. Now, they're supposedly going to be spider women in the future, and like I said, cause the death of the villain. It's not explained how they get their powers, or if they have powers, or if they're just very, very fucking lucky, but I don't like them. This villain here, I can't tell you his name, it doesn't matter. He's sadistic. I like him. I like the look of him in this Spider-Man-ish type of outfit. He kind of looks like Miles Morales does, you know, in the Across the Spider-Verse movies. I like him. He's vicious because he'll shoot a pregnant woman. He will go after kids to murder them. And when he's in this Spider-Man, it's cool to see like an evil Spider-Man that's not Venom, not a symbiote, not Carnage, you know what I mean? Excuse me. I like seeing the way he, like there's a scene in the diner where their kids they're supposed to be hiding out in the woods. And Sydney Sweeney, Dakota Johnson is supposed to come back and get them. Well, they're hungry. They go to a diner. They see some boys. They try to impress the boys. And then we have evil Spider-Man, I guess you would say. He walks in, and Cassandra Webb sees the future. And there's a great scene where he jumps in and he is walking up the walls, and he's walking like on the walls. I love how the camera flips upside down so we see his point of view. He's throwing them across the walls and this and that, and he takes a knife and stabs Cassandra Webb. And then whoosh, it's a Final Destination type of vision, you know what I mean? But the fact that he's willing to just stab her in the stomach and beat the shit out of some teens, I like this guy. And he's doing it just so he can survive. So he's good. He's got a sidekick who is a techie who can control all the electronics in the state. She just sits in a chair and does that. She's whatever. Adam Scott as Uncle Ben. He's fine. He's Adam Scott. You know what I mean? He's fine. Whatever. Emma Roberts, hardly in the fucking movie, so I don't know why she got nominated for Worst Supporting Actress, but she's there to be pregnant and give birth. That's it. So, characters, other than, like, no one sticks out, like, in a good way other than the villain, but Cassandra Webb, Dakota Johnson, she's fine, but these three girls do nothing. Action is pretty good. I will say that. I like, again, the diner scene is good, and I like how she saves the day by running her taxi through the wall. The final fight scene, final action scene that's in like an abandoned fireworks factory with the explosions and the dodging of that and the fire and evil Spider-Man, I guess we'll call Ezekiel is his name. Ezekiel like trying to dodge this, and he might have spider powers like crawling the walls and super strength and this and that, but he is not completely like Spider-Man with the agility. He's getting hit by this and that out of nowhere. Then they end up on like a final confrontation on a gigantic, not like a billboard or whatever, but it's just like this giant, it's on top of a building, and there's like this Pepsi logo, I guess you would say, that they're fighting. It's being destroyed. Like I said, for some reason the girls now know how to fight, and the black girl, because, you know, she was a skateboarder, she's able to skate down the side of the beam to help save the day, kind of like Legolas does in one of the Lord of the Rings movies. That notwithstanding, it's still really, really a good action scene. Sorry about that. It's one of those sneezes that you feel coming, and then you pause it, and it doesn't happen. Anyways, great action scene. Ezekiel's got an interesting death. I expected a lot more from him. She gets injured. Cassandra Webb gets injured. She becomes blind and paraplegic, which is how Madam Web is. Let's see here. There isn't much to this movie, but it's not a bad movie. And here's I don't get all the hatred. So is it worth the hate? No. This movie just kind of exists. It's like the beginning, because this takes place in like 2006, I think. So like timeline wise, with the Venom movies, with Morbius, and then Craven thrown in there, this is the beginning. This is the beginning. It's just kind of there. It's kind of like Captain America: The First Avenger. Not one of the best MCU movies. It came out like in the middle of Phase 1, but it's the beginning of everything. So you got to get used to the characters. You got to see where this is going. Sadly, this is going nowhere because the Sony Spider-Man universe is gone. But we do get to see them in their spider suits in a vision at the very, very fucking end. We get to see their spider powers and their suits and stuff like that. It's a tease, and they look goofy as shit. But I will say this: is Madam Web worth the hype? Or excuse me, definitely not worth the hype. Is Madam Web worth the hate? Like I had somebody on Instagram literally say they would rather watch Generation X and the Nick Fury TV movie, which if you've seen my YouTube post, I couldn't fucking finish. Would rather watch that than ever revisit Madam Web. Don't know what the fuck you were smoking, dude. This isn't the most fantastic movie in the world, but you know what? I'm never bored. I like the lead after, maybe the first half hour. I really like the look of the villain. I like how vicious he is. He's willing to kill teens and the lead and a woman to begin with, even just stab her in the gut with the sword. That's fine. Emma Roberts, she's hardly in the movie, so why would she be nominated for Worst Actress? Adam Scott's fine. I don't really think these kids though attribute anything to the film. It's more a movie, kind of like what I said with Captain America. It's a superhero movie that doesn't have a lot of superhero actions until like maybe the very end. But again, I'm never bored. I liked the lead. Action is good, a good villain, but those three kids, they're just there. So is it worth the hate? In my opinion, no. It's fine. It's an easy way to kill hour and a half, hour and 40 minutes, however long it was. I think it's pushing 2 hours. But either way, I'm engaged with this character. I do like how she gets these visions. They're kind of jarring at times once you get used to it. I liked her initial, I guess you'd say, sequence of going through the futuristic world. She's rescuing somebody. She gets knocked into the river, and she's now having this vision. And as she's floating through the water, there's webs all around her. We hear voices and dialogue that will happen future of the movie. We see some bloody hands, which happen in a scene. So that really looks cool. I do like when she finally gets to use her powers, the full force of her powers, during the confrontation, where somehow she can. It's not explained, and I don't know dick about Madam Web. And all I know from her is like from the 90s Spider-Man cartoon, but she can now astral project to help the three girls. It looks neat. I like the way the webs are around her. The CGI webs. Looks cool. So yeah, there's some good in this. There's a lot more good than a lot of people are saying. I don't get it. You'd really rather watch fucking Nick Fury and Generation X than this. Don't get it, dude. Yeah, so is it worth the hate? Not at all. It's not as good as Morbius. Morbius was more engaging with the characters. Morbius, is a fucking vampire, a bloodless vampire movie. But still, I don't get all the hate for, so far, the Sony Spider-Man universe. Because I like the Venom films, too. I haven't seen the last one. And the next video is going to be on Craven. But with that, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Tell me what you think. Did you like Madam Web? Am I 100% wrong and it's a piece of crap? Let me know. Click the bell. Marvelous May continues. Like I said, the next video will be on Craven the Hunter. And then I keep throwing out ideas, but I am going to definitely do the Incredible Hulk TV movies, that trilogy. Man-Thing, and then we'll see what else. So until then, cheers.